We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bible study, the first Bible study, the firstest of the year 2026. You are very welcome to attend. Look, there are people who have already done their homework. Cassandra might be showing up. Happy New Year's to you. So, come out, have a good time. Even if you didn't do your homework, there's no homework. Guys, there's no homework, okay? We're going to have a 5-minute clock for you to get yourself some cookies, Christmas or Hanukkah. Grab what you will and then join us for an amazing conversation. It is bound to be an amazing conversation as long as it's not just me. If it's just me, there could be some good elements, but who knows? Okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes. We're going to be in 1 Kings chapter 21. Seriously, a chapter that I'm excited about. I love Naboth's vineyard. Gets underspoken about. So, come out and speak about it. See you in 5. Hello, Yoav. How are you doing?
Hello, long time no see.
I know. I was sick. I had holidays, and I had a conversation with Sam Tiedemann. So all of these things have taken away from Bible study. So I feel like it's been a month almost since we actually really got to have Bible study. Bible study. Are you doing all right? Have you been celebrating Kwanzaa? It's no. It's a made up holiday. Don't worry. It's all right. Shots fired on Kwanzaa. Um, yeah. Come out anyway. Bring the boy. What do I care? Okay. Yoav, I think it's just going to be the two of us. Cassandra has said that she might come out, but she's a little bit sick. So, if the drugs hit hard enough, she'll come out. But otherwise, she's just wishing us a happy new year, and she said she'll be in the comments for today. But yeah, a lovely day over here. I'm tired. Do you do a big hurrah for New Year's, Yoav?
Do what?
Like, do you celebrate New Year's? I guess as a Jew, you have multiple. You have so many New Years. This
Yes.
this would be your third
Uh,
New Year this year.
in Israel, nowadays, it's better known as Novi God.
Okay.
We have 10% of the population coming from Russia and the Ukraine. And for them, it's the most important holiday of the year. So people will be
Hmm.
missing work today,
Okay.
recovering from last night's celebration.
Okay. But you don't do anything for that.
I'm not particularly Russian, so it's a family holiday. It's not something that you celebrate by yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we had a party last night, so I'm a little bit tired. As soon as this is done, I will probably be taking a nap. Um, my holidays has meant a lot of napping. But we're talking about a passage that I really, really like a lot, which is Naboth's vineyard. I don't know to what extent you know about it from before. I don't think it gets enough press, but we will be giving it press today. Do you know the passage at all? Okay, good, good, good. How do I make this bigger? Sorry, let me just adjust. There's like a perfect size that it makes it. You know what, guys? You're gonna have to do your best to follow along. I think that's as good as it gets. Okay, Naboth's vineyard. Now Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard in Jezreel, beside the palace of King Ahab, king of Samaria. And after this, Ahab said to Naboth, "Give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a vegetable garden, because it is near my house, and I will give you a better vineyard for it. Or if it seems good to you, I will give you its value in money." But Naboth said to Ahab, "The Lord forbid that I should give you the inheritance of my fathers." And Ahab went into his house, vexed and sullen, because of what Naboth the Jezreelite had said to him. And for he had said, "I will not give you the inheritance of my father." And he lay down on his bed, and he turned away his face, and he would not eat food. What do you think about that? What do you think that's about?
Well, the, if you remember months ago when you concluded the last chapter, everybody concluded that Ahab is a bad person. And
Okay.
I see him as a king trying his best to do what is best for the kingdom.
Right.
He has the burden of responsibility uh, on his shoulders. And really, so far, uh, all he was doing for what he saw as the best for his people.
Mhm.
So now I'm going to defend him. Would he be really so crossed for not getting a vegetable garden? And it lies on why not. I mean, why should not Naboth sell him the vineyard is for a vegetable garden? I don't think Naboth wanted it very much, because if it's a vineyard just by the king's palace, it's a busy place. Horses come and horses go, and soldiers come and soldiers get into the vineyard and they steal some grapes and go find them. Who's Olson? Hi, Olson.
Hello, hello.
Hi. My son's playing in the background, so I'm going to be muted most of the time.
That's all right. I'm really glad you could join us. I don't think we've met. Hi, Olson.
Howdy.
I'm Dave, but I think you knew that.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And I'm the other guy.
Yeah, this is Yoav. Very much the other guy. Well, especially in this conversation. You want to be the other guy. You want to give King Ahab his due. Yes.
And I will tell you later why. So what inhibits Naboth from selling his vineyard? It's because he's from a different tribe. He's stressing it's the what I inherited from my forefathers. And what he's saying we in Israel, we have this separation into tribes, and we don't want to mix. I would have sold it to somebody of my tribe to keep the borders of the tribe whole. Nobody around here will sell any plot of land to any one of the strangers, because then the whole division into tribes is going to, by 2 generations, get lost. And this is the last thing that the king of Israel wanted to hear. He wanted a unified country that stands together against the external menace coming from Ashur.
Yeah, I think the point. Yeah, I think you're making quite a point, because this is a big reaction from the king. That it says, and he lay down on his bed and turned away his face and would eat no food. Right? It's not mild disappointment. Oh, that was a nice garden. He seems to really be affected by it, and so you have to account for why he has this reaction. So Yoav, that is your accounting for it. I like having you, because I do want to fight you on this, because I think Naboth is completely in the right, and I think this passage is about. This is like, it seems so small for us. Like, kings kill people left and right. Who cares, right? Right? Like, if Trump just kills some random guy because he wants like a piece of property, that's like how is that the worst thing that he could possibly do, right? Or has done. But this passage seems to be on a bit of that side. Do you have anything else you want to add with that?
I didn't say that Naboth was wrong. I said these are 2 different views about what is Israel.
Yeah.
Is Israel a collection of tribes, or is it a country?
Right. Olson, well, first I want to say hi, Cassandra. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad the drugs were quick. Olson, do you have any thoughts on this little opening that we've gone through so far?
Yo, I just have a question on that, because it seems like Naboth's plot is near the capital.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's not. Okay.
It is the stress. It's in Israel. Israel is a name of a village.
Okay.
Not the country Israel. There is still today a village called Israel, a dead spot. And there we excavated what used to be not the palace, but the military headquarters.
Mm,
And,
okay.
and that is a very fertile valley, sure to be no lots of vineyards on that plot.
Okay. So it says it was by the palace of Ahab the king. So they weren't part of the same tribe.
The stress that Ahab is the king of Samaria. Samaria
Okay.
is much to the south.
Much to the south. Okay. Okay. That's good. I was just trying to figure out that geography on that. Sorry, I'll mute again.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Cassandra, did you have anything you wanted to throw in? I'm sure.
No, I just read the chapter really quickly before I jumped on, so just listening to your input, your insight.
So this to me is what's central in this chapter. The central bit is Hashem forbid that I should give you the inheritance of my fathers. Naboth won't sell this piece of land because it's so if you know the law, within the system of the law, every 50 years the land belonging to the family would have to be returned to the family. So he's unwilling to divide up the family inheritance. And so I think the way it's presenting itself is that Naboth, more than the king, cares about the land and the way that Hashem has divvied up the land to the different tribes. So yes, there's been a break between the north and the south, between Israel and Judah. Like that's without a doubt happened, and Samaria is the capital of Israel and all this other stuff. But this guy Naboth, he hasn't gotten the updates. This isn't a guy who seems like he's willing to, because like you got to think, Ahab has introduced a new form of worship, right? He would be, as Yoav has said, he's trying to get people to become a new thing. Right? To become their own, to Israel to become its own country. But this guy, Naboth, is running based on the old systems, right? He's still running by that, and that's his moral standard. And that's why, and Yoav, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. That's why I think the text is on Naboth's side, and why this is such a pivotal chapter for like why Ahab is rejected because of this incident in particular. This is the big one. Does that make sense? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, everything you said is true. I don't think the text is at the moment leaning towards any position. The text is just reporting the incident. I don't think there's any moral judgment there in the text.
Okay. It does depict the king as a baby, though, right? I love that description where it says, and he lay down on his bed, turned his face away, and would not eat. Like, it's the big king gets told by a guy that he can't have a garden, and so he's crying in the fetal position. Seems a little bit like it's against him.
Right. They describes him as angry and sullen, which is how he was described at the end of the previous chapter too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not much different than God's reaction to Israel whenever he's trying to arrange anything with them. At the end of every affair between God and Israel, he said, I will turn away from you.
The turning away, that's good.
It's not Ahab, it's us.
Yeah. Okay. Cassandra, despite how nasal it will be, will you read for us from 5 to 7?
Okay, if you wish.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said to him, "Why is your spirit so vexed that you eat no food?" And he said to her, "Because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite and said to him, 'Give me your vineyard for money, or else, if it pleases you, I will give you another vineyard for it.' And he answered, 'I will not give you my vineyard.' And Jezebel his wife said to him, do you now govern Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let your heart be cheerful. I will give you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
Okay, let's. Is it just me, or is that some baby stuff?
I have a question real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
With that, just I've always read it from my Western perspective, where he had the right to reject the king, but in their tradition, does he have that right to or is it assumed if the king asks for it, you're supposed to give it up?
So I keep on going back to the same chapter. There's a chapter in Deuteronomy about what the king is supposed to do. And the king is supposed to make his own handwritten copy of the book of Deuteronomy. And it's within Deuteronomy that it speaks of like the king has to be the one who upholds God's law above all else. So this guy is appealing to the fact that it's the inheritance of his family, right? That God divvied up who gets the land. And that's supposed to stay within those families. And if you sell outside the family, then it has to return back to those families after a certain allotted amount of time. So I feel like the reference to my family, the father's inheritance, is him saying, well, I can't do that. Like that's why Naboth is stuck, because he just got shamed by some guy being like, well, that's not what God would do. Right. It's a little bit of a John the Baptist situation where, the king does as he pleases. And then John the Baptist says, that your marriage is not approved by God, eh? Right. Like that's what gets John killed eventually. Right. John the Baptist. Yeah. Good stuff.
What Isabel is telling Ahav is, you will do kingdom over Israel. And as I interpreted it, she says, your vision of being the king that will rule over all of Israel will come true.
Mm-hmm. But doesn't this, okay, am I just putting it in? Does she not sound like his mother? This to me, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to read it besides him whining to his wife and being a little baby and her saying, aren't you supposed to be in charge? Aren't, like, what is going on? I don't know. What do you think?
Again, I know I brought it up before, but does this also feel like Macbeth? Again? Like he's just like, he's hinting at, it's like, oh, if this happens, this is the situation.
Yeah, and his wife is just like, what's your problem? You act like a king. Do the king thing.
Well, do you think that he thought that Jezebel would do something like this? Like what she does? Like
No,
he
he thought
drops...
she will fix he thought she will fix the issue. He didn't know how.
I think that's what Cassandra is saying, is that he's being a little baby because his wife will come up with a plan. Is that
I'm
what
a
you're
baby.
saying?
Well, I was just saying, like, he consciously or subconsciously, like, lays the thread there and she picks it up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing that a baby husband does. Oh, yeah. Well, it is interesting because Jezebel becomes this story is a perfect example of why Jezebel becomes the archetype in books like Revelation, and without a doubt would affect the character of Lady Macbeth. Like, she becomes a character, and we haven't really seen her act like a character in other stories. She's been mad, but here we can see her plotting and her relationship with Ahab much clearer than in other places. Yeah. But this really has some energy of the other boys wouldn't play with me. I asked if they would play with me, and he said he wouldn't play with me.
Yeah, or like she's what's the word? Like doing it by proxy. Like,
yeah,
what you said, Naboth says to him, well, is this what you're supposed to be doing? Is this lawful? And so he kind of goes around that by going to his wife.
Well, that's interesting too, because it's not gonna. Yeah, we'll see. He doesn't get arrested by the cops. We'll just say that, and it's not treason that he gets charged with. So let's. That's an excellent place. Let's. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we continue on? No. Okay, Cassandra, please. You're doing a great job. I promise you.
Okay.
You've been gone for so long. People don't know that this isn't your real voice. Okay, go.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal. And she sent the letters to the elders and the leaders who lived with Naboth in his city. And she wrote in the letters, proclaim a fast and set Naboth at the head of the people, and set 2 worthless men opposite him and let them bring a charge against him, saying, you have cursed God and the king. Then take him out and stone him to death. And the men of his city, the elders and the leaders who lived in the city, did as Jezebel had sent word to them, as it was written in the letters that she had sent to them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth at the head of the people. And the 2 worthless men came in and sat opposite him. And the worthless men brought a charge against Naboth in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth cursed God and the king. So they took him outside the city and stoned him to death with stones. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth has been stoned. He is dead.
God. Thoughts on the story?
I don't get it. What? How does the fast comes into the story? If there was the same story without a fast, I would have understood it.
I'm sorry, what?
The fast. If I read a story without calling a fast,
Yeah.
then everything makes sense. But what is this fast?
Well, it seems to be within the context that they're almost saying God is upset with them. It seems to be within this context of, okay, God's upset, so he calls everyone to like a state of piety, of fasting and everything. And then the people say, it's like the Jonah situation where they say, okay, whoever's responsible, we're going to throw him off the boat. That's what they're saying about Naboth, but it's a false accusation. Like in Jonah, it's the real thing. It's the storm is here because of someone has done something wrong. Jonah, it's discovered, is the one who did it, so they throw him off the boat, and then the destruction stops. But there's no just like it's deeply ironic because the destruction will come for both Jezebel and Ahab after this because of this situation. God is not bearing down wrath upon them until after this situation. But yeah, it is interesting, the fast, because it doesn't say they pretended Hashem was angry or something like that. It doesn't say that, but to me that seems implied.
Since when is Jezebel trusted to proclaim that God is angry? I mean, nobody would have bought it. It just doesn't make sense.
It's not in her name. It's his name. Ahab.
Yeah, also Ahab. Also, I mean, everybody knows that there is there are. Sorry, doesn't make sense.
I appreciate that things don't make sense. Go ahead, Cassandra.
No, because I was thinking that too. Why do they just do it? They don't think anything is weird about what they're being asked to do. None of this is strange or sounds evil. In the letter, it sounds like they make it very plain that this is a lie and they're going to kill this man for something that didn't happen.
I'm wondering, is there something happening where he wants to rev up the crowd, and you rev up the crowd by getting them to be fasting, to be doing something like this? So when the charge comes forward, people actually listen?
Is there an issue with like inheritance? Like if they just kill him, the land goes to somebody else, but if it's because of sacrilege, then it goes to the temple or to the priest or something.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Like with when Judas dies and like the ground. Yeah. I don't know. That's a really good thought, though. I always like when people are described as worthless. I like when worthless men show up. It's a great way of describing people.
And there's two of them. So
Yeah.
again, like what would be the procedure if someone cursed God and the king? Is it because two people are saying it that it's considered they just go along with it? It's believable?
Well, it's
Yeah, that's the law in Israel. You have to have two witnesses.
yeah, you have to have two witnesses. So it's interesting because they're breaking the law of inheritance. Like they're upset that Naboth is maintaining the law of inheritance, and so what they do is they get two different people to do this, which is fascinating. Oh, this is fun. Someone is upset with David. You're a disgusting man and a disgraceful Christian to make such a reference example of Trump murdering people for their property as if it is not a despicable act and immoral, i.e., worthless. No, I agree with you. My point within that is that people within politics do horrendous things like this all the time. There are specific cases where there's people that were dispatched pretty easily on the side. And sometimes that to me is like an illustration of something much bigger. But like, it's the Joker, right? If a whole bunch of people die and the politicians are doing it, we just kind of go, oh yeah, what a big deal is that, right? Like Ahab has participated in the worship of Baal, in the murdering of priests and all sorts of things, but his downfall will ultimately be because he gets mad about a guy not selling him a garden. Yeah. Thank you, Yanni. Yes, Prison Planet. Okay. Does anyone have anything else they want to add or contribute where we are right now? No. I don't know who this guy is, but no, I don't consent to it. I think the rulers are incredibly evil, and they do things like this that are horrible all the time. And the text is drawing us attention to a guy. I think it's even important that he's named, right? There's so many people that just get dispatched and we never hear of them. But Naboth gets remembered because of how big of a deal what is about to happen is. It's a very, very big deal. Yeah. Okay, let's I think we should continue in. The writing the letters is something that really gets to me too. The idea that that she has so much control of him, which Cassandra, if you want to make comment on this is part of exactly the Lady Macbeth bit that you're saying, that he's in control. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm going to defend him again. He was a military leader. He was often on very long voyages all the way up to Upper Syria and leading coalitions of all of the people of the region. Who will tend the internal affair in the palace while he's away? He has to trust somebody to be the man in charge when he's out, and who is better to trust than his wife?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's going to come out as a saint with me. Don't just wait and see.
Always trying to push us. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Cassandra, can you finish off this section for us? skipping to the end there.
Okay. As soon as Jezebel heard that Naboth had been stoned and was dead, Jezebel said to Ahab, "Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give you for money, for Naboth is not alive but dead." And as soon as Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, Ahab arose to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it.
As soon as he's dead. All right, let's go down. Let's take this thing. Man, yeah, it's just so brutal. So brutal. I always want people to remember there's two different versions of stoning to death. Stoning to death is either a deeply democratic way of killing people, where a whole crowd just throws rocks at someone until they die. I really want to pause one moment for us to think about how brutal that is. Like if you pick up a rock, it's not 5 rocks thrown at a human being that will kill them, right? It's gonna take a couple of fastballs in order to actually kill someone. Or option 2, that exists within Jewish tradition on how stoning would work, is that they throw the person off a cliff, and the rocks get thrown down. The first 2 rocks are from the from the witnesses. The witnesses are the first people to throw the rocks. Because again, you're standing behind that this was the offense that was happening. Either way, quite brutal. It's not nice. Not nice at all. Thank you, Donnie. Donnie, why don't you come out? Why just follow the link, come on out, join us, help us finish off this chapter, okay?
And let me know what really happened there. I need somebody of Donnie's caliber to actually tell me the story because I don't understand the story.
Yeah, Donnie, come out. Correct him. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Question on the inheritance. So once he died, why didn't his family take possession of it?
That's a good question. Well, it might be one of those things that after you have someone publicly killed, then you can kind of do whatever you want, I guess. But yeah, that's a good kill him. Make sure that the property goes to someone that we can bribe instead. It's not even that Ahab wants to do it for free. He says, "I'll pay you for it," right? But even paying for it is still breaking the law, right? So, I mean, it might just be next family members willing to, yeah. It's a good question, though.
Well, it says Ahab goes down to stake a claim on it as soon as it happens. I don't think there would have been a procedure for staking claims to land like that, right? Like, not like in the old west of the U.S. where you could just go claim parcels of land.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I always wonder about that, about like stories where someone just sets up shop and just like, this is ours now. Or you could just do I've never really known people who did squatters' rights, but it just seems like, yeah, this is ours now. We're done. No conversation to be had.
I guess if the king was set up on your family's house after he died, you wouldn't want to go claim it. I don't know.
Yeah, what would you do? Who do you call? You call the cops? Man. Okay, let's return to the text. Oh no, that's the wrong return. Olson, could I get you to read? Or would you be down for that? No. He is entertaining children. And very important thing. Crucial. Ooh. Oh, he's playing Monopoly. Awesome. Yeah.
How much is the vineyard in his Monopoly to play?
I know. I was just thinking about that. We're talking about a thing about picking up pieces of land, and the man's playing in Monopoly. I love it. Love it. Perfect. Now okay, never mind. Let's continue on. Cassandra, please continue reading for us.
All right. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, who is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, where he has gone to take possession. And you shall say to him, Thus says the Lord, Have you killed and also taken possession? And you shall say to him, Thus says the Lord, In the place where dogs licked up the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick your own blood.
Oh, I love, yeah, the licking. This is one of the great little bits that dogs are going to come, right? The we've talked about this before. Sometimes they saw the remnants of the body as being where the soul was hanging on until the resurrection. So for the remnants to be taken apart by unclean animals, that you're not even going to be buried, that it's it's like a scene from a Disney movie where, you know, the person isn't lovingly laid with in the family crypt where he's gathered to his people. Instead, he's like torn apart. There was a man. This image just stays with me. There was some cartoon that I watched, but it was one of those like cartoons that we just go, oh, they don't make them like that anymore. Where a guy gets eaten by crows at the very end, and they just and then they just take off, and there's nothing left of the guy, except for a single screw, which is another part of the movie. Doesn't
That
matter.
definitely doesn't sound like Disney.
No. But it's always stuck with me, that image of like there's nothing left. Just that's part of the prophecy. This sounds also a lot like David being encountered by Nathan, right? Is that the king is going to get told off by the prophet, and Nathan had some tact. He was delicate about it, whereas Elijah's just going to say, "Yeah, you're going down, buddy." Yeah, read this whole section for us, if you would, Cassandra.
Ahab said to Elijah, Have you found me, O my enemy? He answered, I have found you, because you have sold yourself to do what is evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I will bring disaster upon you. I will utterly burn you up, and will cut off from Ahab every male, bond or free in Israel. And I will make your house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah, for the anger to which you have provoked me, and because you have made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel the Lord also said, The dog shall eat Jezebel within the walls of Jezreel. Anyone belonging to Ahab who dies in the city, the dog shall eat. And anyone of his who dies in the open country, the birds of the heavens shall eat.
Just this particular thing, that you'll be scraps in the street. It's so intense. It's so intense. Comments before we get to something that's going to make Yoav happy. That the next section is called Ahab's repentance. But on this section of dogs eating people.
Yeah, they will eat you. There's a lot of stories about that when people die in their house with their dogs or with their cats, with any animal, really.
Yeah. Man.
Does the animals eat him like Sandra was saying, like the old people in the houses all alone? Does that mean she will be alone? Like, no one's gonna be there for her. Like her wicked ways did her in the end.
Yeah, I think it's a notion of treated like trash, because this image to me is more, though I appreciate the people being eaten by dogs in their houses. I think the image really is like if you go to Mexico or you go to India, like we have a dog, and there's certain people of certain ethnic backgrounds that are freaked out when they see us walking with our dog, because they're not used to dogs being pets. They're used to dogs being wild animals in the streets, right? That get into things and rip things apart. right? The garbage gets thrown out, the dogs come and they devour it. And that's one of the purposes that graves have. That's why you bury people 6 feet under. That's why people have tombs in Israel, is so that animals don't desecrate those spaces. So you treat the human being with some level of respect, even after they have passed away. Even after they've passed away, there's some notion that the human being is the image of God, and you treat it with respect. And the lowest form of respect that you can treat it, like I just think of the way my dog just gnaws at a bone, just ripping it apart little by little, getting into like it's just so meticulous. And this image in particular is like the refuse in the street. Like she's going to become crap in the street. That's what she's going to be. Yeah, it's a fun
point
image.
that I want to stress that while your cat might nibble at you if you're dead in the house, I don't think your dog will ever do that. Dogs are politicians, and they know who is family. They know that she is the queen, and they know that if they happen to find her dead and they start to mention her, they know the punishment will be severe. A dog will not normally eat the body. The situation in which the dog eats the body will be exceptional.
Yeah, you're quite right. I didn't want to poo-poo on the idea that was made public, but there are situations where animals have attacked their owners. But as best I understand, there actually aren't any real news stories of dogs in particular with their owners in houses.
Dogs have sense of hierarchy. They know she's the queen.
Yeah. There was like stories of like elephants and stuff where they, after a respected member of their group died, will gather around to make sure other predators don't eat the dead body, right? Like, yeah, it is interesting that animals have a sense of respect sometimes for bodies. It's a weird sort of thing.
I guess that's why it's part of why that's the prophecy made, because it's unusual.
Yeah.
Like this, what will happen? This is unusual and it's meaningful.
Yeah. Well, and the opposite, the dog gets brought in right after. The image also that the good kings, as they die, it repeatedly said he was gathered to his people, and was buried in the grave in Jerusalem. And quite literally, the bones would be gathered and put in an ossuary, a bone box, where they would be kept waiting for the resurrection. And that would be almost seen as like, we're all together waiting for the resurrection together, right? Like that image that people have of heaven, that it's almost like your family waiting for you at the airport, right? Like that's kind of the image of was gathered to his people, and the image of the family crypt. She doesn't have that image. She's not gathered to no one. She's dispersed, right? Torn apart. Yeah. And I like the birds then get brought into it too the second time around. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Cassandra, continue on, would you?
There was none who sold himself to do what was evil in the sight of the Lord like Ahab, whom Jezebel his wife incited. He acted very abominably in going after idols, as the Amorites had done, whom the Lord cast out before the people of Israel. And when Ahab heard those words, he tore his clothes and put sackcloth on his flesh, and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went about dejectedly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Have you seen how Ahab has humbled himself before me? Because he has humbled himself before me, I will not bring the disaster in his days, but in his son's days I will bring the disaster upon his house.
Hey Cassandra, how does Elijah feel about this? You've seen what the character of Elijah is. Is Elijah happy? Do you think that Ahab is repenting?
I was gonna say this kind of reminds me of like what Jonah said he didn't want. He's like, "You're gonna forgive them anyway. Why do I have to go do stuff?" But
Right. Tell him off. Tell him he was wrong. So Yoav, are you happy now? Are you happy the man repented? Is that what you wanted? I feel like the bad guy as well because I'm upset that he doesn't like. Okay, you apologized. Good. Still light him on fire. You know. Oh, Olson, you're muted.
Part of me is like, I feel like for me, like I would rather take the curse than have my son take the curse.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Why do
yeah, I
we?
was thinking
Yeah.
about that because he's able to fast and do all this stuff, but it can't save his family. It can only save him. So everyone else, the
Within,
descendants still
I
have
would
it,
think
but
within a. Yeah, I would think within a biblical mindset though, if the son also repented, then God would. I think that can would get kicked down repeatedly.
right,
I think it's like it's been delayed, and it can be delayed indefinitely, but it requires continuous repentance for that to be the case.
right.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, something I guess that was the problem because you see the story with all these kings. There's not enough repentant kings.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's yeah. There's an image. That's the image in Jeremiah that I need people to know, which is Jeremiah and the potter is a very different image than the potter and the clay that we get from the book of Romans. And because Romans is actually making a reference to something, and if you don't know it, you'll get the wrong idea from Romans. But in Jeremiah, Jeremiah goes down to a potter playing with some clay, and the potter's trying to do something with it, and the clay is difficult to work with. Okay, it has little tiny imperfections in it that you didn't realize, and so you might have one intention, but the clay has a mind of its own. Because the clay has a mind of its own, it won't become what the potter wants it to be. But the potter is a good potter. He reworks even it falling apart into something new. And God says to Jeremiah, that's what I'm like. I'm like that potter. So I might say to one place, you have blessing, and then it repents, and then I can change what I'm doing with them to rework so that the blessing becomes something else. But also, if I call upon destruction and then they relent of that, then I can rework that into something else. So it's actually saying that something like destruction that can, even though God is saying it's going to come to your children, it doesn't have to. It would require further repentance in order for it to become something else. That's all. That's what I think, at least. Yoav, do you want to talk up your favorite king? Apparently, King Ahab, your favorite guy, who you think is just wonderful. Yoav shouting 4 more years for King Ahab over here. Go ahead, buddy.
Yep. Now, what's the opposition? Who shall I elect? Who's the alternative?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So my vote goes to Ahav.
Yeah. Well, and we still don't get reference of Jezebel repenting, and her death is, I think, presented as something which you're supposed to be satisfied with. Any other comments? None.
Very
Olson,
small comment. There is an aleph missing in the text.
there's an aleph missing in the text.
Yeah. I will not bring the bed in his days, but in the days of his son, I will bring. In the word bring, the first one, there is missing an aleph.
What might that imply?
You can read it like not my father.
Do you think that's intentional, that it's getting at something, or does that sound like a mistake to you?
I would say it's a mistake, but it's a very strange mistake because God is speaking and is pronouncing some harsh judgment. And then he's saying something like, not my father. Just saying. It's in the text.
That's interesting. Yeah, it seems like the bit you'd be the most careful about. Oh, okay. So can you, Yanni, find out further details about this? Because I hear that this doesn't happen as often as people think.
Well, they're police dogs.
Oh, that's right. Those guys are aggressive. Neil is saying strange mistakes are the best mistakes. He loves strange mistakes. He's also very excited that Olsen is here. Is Olsen your first name? I've heard Olsen mostly as a last name, but that's what you want to go by, Olsen? You can pick another name. You can pick weird names if you want. Yeah. Okay. I'm excited for where this will go in the future. I'm excited for this strange mistake. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. Also, it's important that we push against strange mistakes if even if they're strange mistakes and they're lots of fun. If they're brought up by Yoav, we have to question them because he's a little bit mischievous. He's got a smirk even right now as we're talking about it.
Yep.
So, you know, 2 cheers for Yoav, but not 3. Okay, guys, not 3. You gotta, you gotta. Same thing with Yanni. Yanni always gets 2 cheers from me. Very excited to see him, but not 3, which I think is what he prefers. If I were to guess. Yeah, go ahead, Cassandra.
I was going to say I wish Yanni was caught up because I feel like this is something he would be very interested in.
Yeah, and he'd probably bring in the Greek. Can anyone go back in time and tell him, Yanni, we need your Greek right now? Yeah. Yeah, we'll be in the next one. Okay, clipping for worldly news. Good times. All right. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas, including you, Yoav. I hope you had just the best Christmas. You were the closest to the nativity between all of us, unless Olsen is living in Bethlehem and I just don't know it. No. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
To Bethlehem, Chezi is closer.
Okay. All right. I'll bother him then. All right. Goodbye, everyone. I'm gonna go maybe take a nap. See you later.